Hello everyone, welcome back to the 6th session on solid state. Today we are going to learn how to calculate the density of a unit cell, and also we are going to learn some of the imperfection in crystalline solids. So the first one, let's see how we are going to calculate the density of a unit cell. What is density? Density is mass by volume. Now, how do we calculate the density of a unit cell? It is the ratio of mass per unit cell to the total volume of the unit cell. Now, how do we get the volume of the unit cell? In a cubic unit cell, all the edges are equal. And the formula to calculate the volume of the unit cell is length into breadth into height. So, if I consider the edge length to be A, then the volume of the unit cell is A cube, that is length into breadth into height, A into A into A, it is A cube. Mass of the unit cell, how to get it? It is the number of particles in the unit cell into mass of each atom. That is, in my unit cell, if there are 2 atoms, 2 into mass of every atom. So, what is the number of atoms in unit cell? It is depicted as Z. Mass of each atom is small letter m. Now, how do we calculate or how do we get the mass of each atom? Here we are using mole concept. In mole concept, you know, gram atomic mass or gram molecular mass of any substance will contain 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 particles. Correct? So, if I take m is the molar mass or atomic mass, it will contain how many particles? 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 particles or atoms. Now, that means that these many particles weighs m grams. Correct? So, mass of one atom is how much? We are going to calculate. So, this one we are taking it as small letter m. Okay. So, m will be equal to capital M, that is molar mass, okay, or it can also be atomic mass divided by Avogadro number. Avogadro number is represented as Na or N naught, also we can write it. Now, therefore, now you got the volume, you have got the mass. So, now I can substitute in my formula for density. So, density is mass of the unit cell by volume of the unit cell. What is mass of the unit cell? Z into m, number of particles into mass of each atom, by volume is A cube. Now, what is the mass of each atom? It is molar mass divided by Avogadro number. So, this one is the formula for calculation of density of the unit cell. So, here you can see rho. See, density can be written as D or represented as rho. Okay, rho is equal to Z m by A cube into Na. So, what is Z? It is number of particles per unit cell. What is m? It is atomic mass or molecular mass. What is Na? It is Avogadro number. This is the value. Then you have A, which is the edge length. See, if it is given in picometer, you need to convert into centimeter. I shall explain this conversion in the numericals. A cube is volume of the unit cell. Now, we have to learn to calculate the density of the unit cell. We have numerical based on this formula. I am going to teach you all how to calculate the density. Okay. So, the first one, this particular question in your second PUC was asked 3 times in the previous years. Okay, it is asked in 2015, it was asked in 2016 as well as in 2018 question paper. So I'll read the question for you all. Silver forms CCP lattice and X-ray studies of the crystal show that the edge length of its unit cell is 408.6 picometer. Calculate the density of silver given atomic mass is 107.9 grams. So I have highlighted whatever is required for us for solving the problem. Okay. Now I will write the formula. D is equal to Z M by A cube into NA. Now from the question again I'll see whether I have all the values required for my problem. Okay. So first one they have told it is CCP lattice. CCP or FCC, how many particles does it contain? It contains 4 particles. So Z will be equal to 4. Then they have given edge length, that is A is equal to 408.6 picometer. Correct? Then they have given the atomic mass, that is M, which they have given as 107.9 grams. Now you are supposed to calculate the density. Avogadro number value we know it is 6.022 into 10 power 23. So I have Z, I have M, I have A, I have Na value. So now I can calculate the density. But here before we go into the calculation, you have to know density has a unit gram per cm cube or kg per meter cube. Because the mass is given in grams, it is easy if we convert the edge length into centimeter. It is given in picometer, we should convert it into centimeter and then we are supposed to substitute and get the answer. So how do we do the conversion? So first I will write A is what they have given, 408.6 picometer. Okay. Now what is pico? It is 10 to the power minus 12 meters. Okay. Now how do I convert into centimeter? For your convenience or for you all to understand, I will just split this and write into 408.6 into 10 to the power minus 10 into 10 to the power minus 2 meters. Now what is 10 to the power minus 2 called as? It is called as centi. So I can write it as 408.6 into 10 to the power minus 10 centimeter. So this is the value which you have got after conversion. 406.8 picometer is nothing but 408.6 into 10 minus 10 centimeters. This value we have to substitute in our formula. So I will just solve this for you all. Z is what? It is 4. What is M? It is 107.9 divided by A is 408.6 into 10 to the power minus 10 whole cube. I have to cube it completely into 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. If you solve this, 4 into 107.9, you will get it as 431.6. Okay, you can use a calculator and solve it. Now, if I multiply this, how do I multiply? 408.6 into 408.6 into 408.6 into 6.022. If I do, I will get the value 410,805,110.87. Okay. Now, what about the powers? Powers, 10 power minus 10 whole cube if I do, I will get 10 to the power minus 30 into 10 to the power 23. Now this is 10 power minus 30 into 10 power 23 is 30 minus 27, it is 7. So you have 10 power minus 7, this is minus, okay. So you will get this as 431.6 divided by 410,805,110.87 into 10 to the power minus 7. Okay. Now to remove this 10 power minus 7 and make this number smaller, I can move my points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means if I move it this side, it will become 10 to the power 7. So minus 7 and 7 will get cancelled. So I will get it as 431.6 divided by 41.0, which I will get it as 10.5 gram per cm cube. So this is the final answer. I have shown you all every step so that you don't get confused when you are going to solve this problem. Please practice how to solve this problem. It is very important question. Okay, we shall solve one more problem. The second one, X-ray diffraction studies show that copper crystallizes in an FCC unit cell, okay, with edge of 3.608 into 10 power minus 8 centimeters. In a separate experiment, copper is determined to have density of 8.92 gram per cm cube. Calculate the atomic mass of copper. Now, what and all are the values you are going to get from this question? Okay, first Z is 4 because it is FCC. Edge length A is what? 3.608 into 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. See, directly they have given in centimeter. So there is no conversion part which you have to do here. Directly it is given in centimeters. You can do the substitution provided your density also is given in gram per cm cube. See, you can see density D they have given. D is what? 8.92 gram per cm cube. So this is already in centimeter. Here also they have given in centimeter. Now what are you supposed to find out? M, Avogadro number value we already know. So how to solve this problem we shall see. So formula is D is equal to Z M by A cube into NA. Now I have density, I know Z, I know A cube, I know NA. So what I am supposed to calculate? M. So I will rearrange this formula to write M is equal to D into A cube into NA divided by Z. Now we shall do the substitution. What is D? Density is 8.92 into what is A value? It is 3.608 into 10 to the power minus 8. It's already in centimeter. So I don't have to do the conversion. Whole cube into 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 divided by what is Z? It is 4. Now, if I solve this, if I multiply 8.92 into 3 times 8.92 into 3.608 into 3.608 into 3.608 into 6.022, I will get the value 2522.92. This is the value I will get. Now, what about the powers? Powers is 10 to the power minus 24 into 10 to the power 23 divided by 4. Correct? Now, this 10 to the power minus 1 will remain. So, I will write it as 0.92 into 10 to the power minus 1 divided by 4. Now to remove this power, I'll just move 1 point. I will get it as 252.292 divided by 4. If I do, I'll get it as 63.1 grams. What will I get the answer as? 63.1 grams. So this is the atomic mass of copper. I hope you have understood how to solve these two types of problems which can be asked for your final exam. Next, we are going to learn what are defects or imperfections. Now, what do you mean by defect? Defect means there is some variation or there is some imperfection which is there. Now, in solids, we have in crystalline solids, the constituent particles are arranged in a very orderly manner, correct? Now, if this order is missing somewhere, okay, then we call them as defects or imperfections, okay. Usually in solids, what happens is at 0 Kelvin, the particles are exactly in their original lattice points. But above 0 Kelvin, that is as the temperature increases, the particles will start getting thermal energy, and because of thermal energy, they will start vibrating in its position. And because of such vibrations, as the temperature increases, there might be some of the defects which can come in the solids. That is, the particle might get dislocated to a different place, okay, from its original site, or there might be some other foreign particles which is there in the crystalline solids. So these are the different types of defects which you can see. The reason is at the higher temperature, because of thermal energy, there can be vibration in the particle, and because of which we can see the defects, okay. So the definition is, the defects are basically, what is it? Irregularities in arrangement of constituent particles. Simple. There is irregularity. There should have been constantly a regular orderly pattern. There is some irregularity in the arrangement of the constituent particles, then we call them as defects. Now there are two types of defects broadly classified as point defect and line defect, okay. Now what is point defect? Point defect means the irregularity is there in and around a point, okay. That means at one lattice point or in one lattice site, there is some irregularity, then we call them as point defect. Now what do you mean by line defect? Line defect means there is an irregularity in the entire row, okay. There is an irregularity in the entire row or one full line of particles, then there is an irregularity, then we call them as line defects. In second PUC syllabus, we learn only about the point defects. Line defects are not there for you all in your second PUC syllabus. So how many types of point defects are there? See, crystal defects broadly classified as point defects and line defects. Point defects, there are of three types: stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect and impurity defect. In stoichiometric defect, there are four types. Actually, basically they are of two types. These two are found in only ionic solids, okay. They are interstitial defect, vacancy defect, Frenkel defect and Schottky defect. In non-stoichiometric defects, they are further classified as metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Now today we shall learn about stoichiometric defects, okay. So what are stoichiometric defects? The defect in which stoichiometry of the compound is not disturbed. What is it? Stoichiometry of a compound is not disturbed, then we call them as stoichiometric defect. It is also called as intrinsic or thermodynamic defects. Why intrinsic or thermodynamic defect? That's because as the temperature variation or temperature increases, the number of stoichiometric defects also may increase. That's the reason it is called as intrinsic or thermodynamic defect. Now, what do you mean by stoichiometry? For example, I shall take NaCl. Okay. Now, we have Na plus ion and Cl minus ion to make NaCl molecule. Now, what is the ratio of Na plus ion to Cl minus ion? It is 1:1 ratio. Even if the defect is present, this ratio is not disturbed. Okay. The stoichiometry means the ratio or the composition of a molecule or a compound. So, that ratio is not disturbed even when there are defects. Then such defects we call them as stoichiometric defects. They are of two types, that is vacancy defect, okay, and interstitial defects. Okay, there are two more types which is there only for ionic crystals, that is Schottky and Frenkel defect. So, first we shall see what is vacancy defect. What do you mean by vacancy? There is some vacant space. Okay, there is some empty or vacant space. So, if a particle is missing from its original lattice site, okay, then we call it as vacancy defect. This happens when we are usually heating a solid. When we are heating a solid, what happens? Because of the temperature, the particle from its original site goes missing. Then there is an empty space which is created there, that we call it as vacancy defect. You can see here supposed to be a particle should have been there, but instead of a particle there is an empty space, there is a vacancy created. Then such defects are called as vacancy defect. When some of the lattice sites are vacant, then the crystal is supposed to have vacancy defect. It is shown by non-ionic solids. Also, it is created by heating. Okay. Next, last we are talking about the density. What happens to the density? It decreases. Why decreases? See, when the particle is missing, the mass reduces. When mass reduces, even the density will decrease. That's the reason in vacancy defect, the density usually decreases. Okay. Next, we will see about interstitial defects. In interstitial defects, what happens? Now, what do you mean by interstitial site? Last class, I had explained you all about the void, correct? The void can also be called as interstitial site, or it is the empty space which is there. See, this is an interstitial site. This also is an interstitial. Wherever there is place, empty space which is there, it is called as void or interstitial site. Now, if there is a extra atom in the interstitial space, then we call it as interstitial defect. You can see there is one extra atom which is there in the interstitial site. Okay, that empty space has got a particle there. Then we call them as interstitial defect. These are also shown by non-ionic solids. Okay, you can see particle occupy the interstitial site, we call them as interstitial defect. Now, what happens to the density? Density increases. Why? Extra atom is present or extra particle is present. So, mass will increase, density also will increase. So, in interstitial defect, what happens? The density of a substance will increase because of the presence of extra atoms in the interstitial site. Next, both vacancy and interstitial defect are shown by non-ionic solids. When same kinds of defect, that is vacancy and interstitial only, but when it is shown in ionic solids, we call them as Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. So we will see what is Schottky defect. In Schottky defect, first of all, Schottky defect and Frenkel defect is shown by ionic solids. Okay. In Schottky defect, the number of cations missing is equal to the number of anions which are missing, or it is basically a vacancy defect. What is it? It is basically a vacancy defect. Okay. In Schottky defect, equal number of cations and anions are missing and thus maintains electrical neutrality. See, if one cation is missing and one anion is still remaining there, then electrical neutrality will not be there in the solid. To maintain electrical neutrality, one cation goes missing, one anion also will go missing, and there is an empty space which is left behind. Such defect is called as Schottky defect. What happens to the density? Of course, in vacancy defect what happens? Mass decreases, then the density also decreases. Schottky defect also it's the same thing. It results in decrease in the density of the substance. Okay. Next, it is shown, I told you all, in ionic substances, but the ionic size should be similar. That is, cation and anion sizes should be similar. In such ionic solids, we can see Schottky defect. Also, for the ionic solids which has high coordination number, you can see Schottky defect. Examples we can give: sodium chloride, potassium chloride, cesium chloride and silver bromide. Any two examples you all can remember for your exam. Now here again I shall repeat, you can see there is a cation and anion. See, if one cation is anion is missing, there is one cation also which goes missing. Equal number of cations and anions are missing in Schottky defect. I hope you have understood. The last one is Frenkel defect. In Frenkel defect, even Frenkel defect is shown by which kind of solids? Ionic solids or ionic compounds. Here Frenkel defect is shown when or created when smaller ions are dislocated from its normal site to interstitial site. See, in Frenkel defect you can observe both vacancy defect and interstitial defect. It shows both the defects simultaneously. That is, cations which is of smaller size goes missing from its original site to the interstitial site. It is not completely missing, it is gone from its original site to the interstitial site. Here you can see, from here it has gone over here. From its original site, it has moved to the interstitial site. Then we call it as Frenkel defect. Now, which type of ionic compounds show Frenkel defect? The ionic compounds in which large differences is there in the size of the ion. Okay, in which the ion size there is a large difference, such ionic compounds show Frenkel defect. Also, the ionic solids will have low coordination number. Such solids will show Frenkel defect. Now, what about the density? Density, you can see there is no change. Why? The particle is not completely missing. It is only got dislocated from its original site. Mass is the same, volume also is the same. So, obviously, the density also it will not change. Okay. This defect is also called as dislocation defect. Why? From its original place it got dislocated into the interstitial space. That's why it is also called as dislocation defect. Examples you can give AgCl, AgBr and AgI. Now, if you observe in examples of Schottky defect and in examples of Frenkel defect, one was common, that was AgBr. Why? This one solid, that is silver bromide, can show both Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Why it can show both Schottky defect and Frenkel defect? It has got a large difference in its ionic sizes, okay. Ag plus and Br minus have got large difference in their sizes, hence they can show Frenkel defect. Also, this ionic solid has got high coordination number, due to which it can also show Schottky defect. So, this is a solid, or this is an example for a ionic compound which can show both Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. This is one of the important 1 mark question which can be asked. The question can be asked as, give an example for a solid which can show both Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. So, your answer will be silver bromide. It can be a 1 mark question. Also, write the differences between Schottky defect and Frenkel defect is a very important question. Okay. So, you have to learn to write 4 differences. Write the definition, write the differences in their density, what it can show, also with the size of the ion and the coordination number, you will get 4 differences for Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. I hope today's class you have understood. Okay, it's a very important to learn how to calculate the density of the unit cell. After the class, please sit down, try to work out the 2 problems which I had solved in today's class. Next class, we will be learning about non-stoichiometric defects, impurity defects, and about semiconductors. Stay tuned, stay focused. Thank you, my dear children.